projections. And that comes with one, knowing your target, knowing how much it takes you to acquire a new customer, knowing your manufacturing money, and then knowing what your profit level is after you put all of those things together, connected with your operational. But if the idea and the product doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. See, people got a lot of businesses, but every business is not a 7-figure business. You got to think beyond what you have been accustomed to. You know what I mean? Think about something like Netflix. It's a very simple model. We're going to house all these films that we license in one location, and we're going to charge you $7.99 a month, each person. Well, you know, they have what, about 15 to 18 million subscribers. You know, they are making a lot of money with the content, and they continue to rotate. And here's what people could learn from a Netflix model. You notice Netflix basically gives you control. They don't tell you when you got to watch the shows. Any shows that they create, they release all the shows, so you can watch them backwards, you can watch them forward, you can watch them sideways. You know, and Netflix has created this new term people call binge watching. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Some people actually take a whole weekend and say, I'm going to watch the entire season of Scandal today.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? While I eat my potato chips and bonbons. But here's the beauty of what a Netflix is allowing to happen. They are allowing the customer to be in control. They don't tell you what you should watch. They don't tell you how long you should watch it. They don't tell you how many times you can watch it. Unlike the previous model before that, which was like Blockbusters, you have to have it back at a certain time. Are you going to get those late fees? You were limited to what they had in that store in that location. So what Netflix has done is create a freedom model. We got movies, come and watch them as long as you want, as long as you want to stay here. Just pay us $7.99 a month. That's gangster.
No, see, and that's what I wanted to talk about too. People think that in order for you to have a 7-figure business model, that your product has to be highly priced. Okay, let's look at another hugely, I'm going to talk about huge successes, even beyond what a Netflix does. Let's look at Google. They are a search engine. They don't have content themselves. They give you everyone else's content, help you find what you're looking for. And then how did they monetize it? They put ads that are way cheaper than what you have to pay for print, way cheaper than what you have to pay for radio, way cheaper than what you have to pay for magazine, newspapers, all of that. They said you can advertise if you have $20 here. Now, it may not get you a whole lot of ads, but you can get some ads. You got $20, put it up. And they are a billion-dollar company that started with a free service. So it's, as Benny said, understanding what your model is and how you're going to monetize that, and then systematically implementing it so that people can find your service and or product and utilize it for whatever it is. If 100,000 people buy your product and it's $10, you made $1 million in revenue.
There we go.
Your business.
Absolutely.
If you have a $10,000 product and 10,000 people buy it, you have a 7-figure business. You know, there's more than one way or one path to the 7 figures. The challenge is creating something that services enough people.
There you go. See, you know, I think where people get lost at, Gerald, when people think of 7-figure businesses, they think of the people who make Bentleys. They think of the people who make Lamborghinis. they think of the people who sell luxury homes and whatever, because they figure that's the easiest way to get there. But a lot of times, think about this, Gerald. When you was a child, did you buy the gum that was 25 cents?
Absolutely.
That's 5 sticks of gum.
Yes.
Tell me why they're a $1 billion company and it's still 25 cents.
Because they have enough people buying it.
Exactly. Over a long period of time, and don't matter how much competition they had, I think it went up to 35 cents recently. Yeah. You know what I mean?
A whole 10-cent increase over the last 25 years.
Right, exactly. But think about all of those people the competition that they had, the Chiclets and all those type of people coming out that was selling, the squares of gum for like $2. They still maintained at like 35 cents, and they're still a $1 billion company. You see what I'm saying? But people take to look at it, and you got to look at. I think Warren Buffett said it perfectly. He only invests in things that makes sense to him and how it makes money. You see what I'm saying? He knows how it makes money, which is the reason he invests in Coke and things. But people don't realize the little stuff that they have. Do you know how much money ketchup makes? It's a $1 billion company. Mustard. See, people don't look at those things. You know why? Because they're not glamorous.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not the entertainer. They're not famous. They're not, out there where people chase you down the streets, et cetera, et cetera. So people don't look at those things like that. But you're using the products. If you look around your house, you can find nothing but 7-figure companies if you really did the research on it. But people are so caught up in the sham and the flam of it. It's like, okay, I can only do this if it does this for me, if it gives me the fame. Let me tell you something. The best way to make money is to be able to make money and nobody even know you make the money.
And that leads me to something I always talk about. For a lot of people, they think that if you aren't famous, then you aren't making money. Let me tell you something, man. I know more millionaires that are so quiet and don't want listen, fame and fortune are not the same thing, and you can definitely have one without the other. Because I know some people that are really well known that are broke as heck. So,
Preach, brother.
And I know some people that you have never heard of that have tons of money. Their grandchildren's grandchildren will have money. So it's not about how many people know your name. It's about how many people you are serving and helping. So, yes, it's the quiet ones that make that old money. Yeah, because they come from old money. So,
yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing that when we talk about bridging wealth gaps and things of that nature, which is something we aren't talking about right now, but when you're talking about bridging wealth gaps, a lot of the gap is that those families taught their children about money. Something that the average person early on in life, that the average person doesn't teach their children. So that money that they inherit continues to live on and on. They teach them about three things: money, family, and business. They teach them those three things, and those three things are important to them for the rest of their life, and they pass that on to their children. Whereas a lot of people that are challenged financially pass on bad habits and pass on debt.
Jerry, you haven't been hearing an echo, have you?
Yeah, I heard a little echo, but we're good now.
All this time I never had on the headphones.
Oh, awesome! Well, even better now. Now we get the super clean, Mr. Benny.
Watch out, man.
Mr. Benny Randall.
No. All this time I never had on the headphones, but I didn't know that. I didn't hear you. You didn't tell me anything.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a horrible echo. It was just slightly. But
Gracie, okay. Gracie says she heard an echo. I apologize. All this time, I just realized when I just looked at that you had on headphones, I was like, how come I don't have on any?
Oh man, hilarious!
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we're talking about now. We're going to get back on topic: 7-figure business success. How do you get your company to be earning those 7 figures so that you can live the life you want to live and be able to do the things that you want to do? We said step one was defining your product and service, finding that product or service that's going to generate 7 figures for you.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we were talking about understanding that it has to light you up. That's one reason. Many people know how to make money, but not many people know how to make their money make money, so they lose it. Absolutely, Kim. Woo. Boy,
Right.
that's going to be another discussion for another day, because that'll be a 4-hour blab. So
there it is. Exactly.
That is 4 hours right there. So
you got to be able to invest that money and take it from one industry to the other industry so that it creates that freedom. Is exactly what I did because my core business is business and life coach. I help people fix their systems because everything is built by the system. But I took that money and then I put it into investing into some very big, lucrative development projects because I wanted something that I could die and come back and still see it.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, I may be talking crazy now, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Well, here was my thing. My caveat was that, just to speak to what Kim said, is that a lot of people know how to make money, but not a lot of people know how to make their money work for them. And
Absolutely.
The difference between wealthy people and people that are struggling financially is really only two things: their utilization of the money that they make,
Absolutely.
and the utilization of the people that are around them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the major two differences. People, I don't want to use it's we all have people in our lives that could maybe help us go to the next level. Well, I won't say all. Let me correct. Because some of us are hanging around in the wrong circles.
But the people are there. I think what you was alluding to is that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Absolutely.
So we all have that opportunity to have that teacher appear, but you got to be in that right zone. You got to be in that right transition to attract that teacher, and you will know because it'll be effortless when you're dealing with the people who are dealing. You know what I mean? Like that teacher will be brought to you, and it will fit. There will be no effort. You know what I mean? They will talk your language, and they'll be able to show you things that other people could not show you. The same thing happened with my coaches. You just knew it clicked. And somebody I probably would have never ran in the same circles if it not for some type of bridge to bring us together. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. And that's what I try to do when I'm connecting with clients is I try to, when they're in that program, I want to give them an experience. I want them to come meet me. I want us to connect. I want us to go somewhere. I want us to really feel like, okay, I see what's going on here. I see where you're going, and I like it. That's where I want to go. And I want to be able to take them to the next level because everything is about the experience. You know what I mean? When you get an experience you love, Gerald, you know. You know what I mean? You go to that spa and they treat you like a king and, them ladies rub you down and all that stuff like that. Let me tell you something. You're going back to the spa. It's just that simple.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to get you in trouble, Gerald. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, man. Get me in trouble. Wait. Now the Bishop Fred is back. Fred says, if I've learned anything since I've joined the private sector, making money is easy. It's doing something constructive with it afterwards is what's the real cognitive and moral challenge. That's why he's the bishop. And that's what we were just talking about. It's being able to do that. Hi, Gerald. Enjoying the discussion. Thank you, brother. Welcome. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks the first time I've seen you, Khalid. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. You'll feel free to join in. We would like to know what your business is, because really the concept we're talking about is your 7-figure business success, not a 7-figure business, not a 7-figure success model. See, those are two separate things. We're going to talk about the business part, but a 7-figure success model is totally different. I like to call it oil. You have what you own, oil. What in your life you have what they call a well-oiled machine, right?
Okay.
So oil, OIL. You have what you own, ownership. What businesses do you own? Things of that nature. You have what your investments are, and then you have your leverage piece. How you're leveraging those two things. So
I hope y'all wrote that down. I just wrote that down. I'm gonna be like, let me oil your business. That's kind of good. Make sure you wrote that down, man. Go ahead. Let me do that again. Say that again, Jared. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat room because they need to know where they heard that from.
Oh man. You have your ownership piece. What do you own? Your businesses, things of that nature. You have your investments, stocks, bonds, things of that nature. And then you have your leverage, how you're leveraging those two things to create the life that you want. So that's your 7-figure, what I call success model.
That was real smooth right there. You brought that out the box for the. I see what you're doing right now.
He said, I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing.
Well, I mean, we're on here to talk about the business aspect, which is a part of the ownership, because that's something that you would own. So let's look at what the next step is after you have the idea, after you figured out your audience. Now what? Now what do you do?
Are you asking me, or are you about to go into it?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you.
Okay, so after you figured out your target market, right?
Right.
And what was the other part of the question?
What is the next step after you figured out your target market? What's the next step to building that 7-figure business model?
After you figured out your target market, how do you get to them? How do you acquire them?
There you go. That's it.
You know what I mean?
The M word. Marketing.
How do you acquire that target customer? Where do they live? Where do they work? Where do they hang out? How do you get their attention? Because a lot of times people try to sell bicycles to people with no legs.
I love that. Wait. Now you got to say that one again. Slow that down.
I'm saying, yeah. Most people, when I talk to people, and we metaphorically we're saying here, people, solopreneurs who don't know their business, they try to sell bicycles to people with no legs, and they wonder why they're having a problem. Because that's not something they're looking for at that moment. Now, I'm not going to say somebody who don't legs not want it, but what I'm saying is, man, you got to know who your target is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't be selling hoochie mama dresses to grandmas. No. They're not looking to twerk. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. So the whole point is, how do you get to your target? Where are they at? And how much money is it going to take you to acquire each new customer? A lot of people don't know that's things. They think they know it here, but you need to write this stuff down. You need to write it down on how your plan of attack will happen. I'm telling you, people don't realize how powerful writing down is. Just being able to actually have a visual written down statement of where you need to go gives you so much more clarity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And now what Benny is talking about in the business world.
Yeah, Miss Collins, I tell you. She's
tried to sell bicycles to people with no legs. Kim is funny. Kim is hilarious, man. But what Benny is talking about in marketing terms, the slang the terminology you hear thrown around is CPA, cost per acquisition. What is, how much is it going to take you to get in front of the right person? And you have cost per acquisition. You also have what they call cost per sale, CPS. So, once you find that audience, you have to decide what type of messaging resonates with that audience. The second thing that you need to figure out is how much it's going to cost you to get in front of that audience. Oh, wow. They're on the Hoochie Mama comment.
Well, see, Fred, here's what you got to realize. Here's the beauty of me and Gerald here. Here's the beauty right here. See, Gerald will give you those terms. And Gerald will give you those terms that everybody can understand. I'm going to give you the terms of how I got there. You see what I'm saying? what people don't realize is that, I didn't have all that formal education to make it happen. I had an A plan and not a B plan. And my A plan was to win. And it's the same reason why I tell people you should never have a B plan, because if your A plan don't work, ladies and gentlemen, you should create a new A plan, but never have a B plan to fall back on, because 9 times out of 10, you will fall back on because mentally you've told yourself you have a safety net. I want you to think of it in this aspect. See, Gerald will give it to you the way that most of you can understand the terminology, whatever. I'm going to give it to you the way how I perceive it, because a lot of things I learned, I had to go through it. But think about this. What is those people, the high wire acts? Okay. Now, the ones who use the nets, what I've come to understand is they tend to make a little bit more mistakes. Why? Because they have a safety net. But the ones who do not have a net, they don't make mistakes. They can't afford them. You know why? Because there is no coming back. Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to go into business with a safety net? Or do you want to go into business without a safety net? Because, see, you don't have no options but to win. I had no other options. I don't have any degrees. You know what I mean? I don't have any degrees, but I had no options but to win. Now, I know people with tons of degrees ain't making no money.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
And have way more debt. Have way more debt. So
you see what I'm saying? But I have zero debt, and I'm a 7-figure man. So what I've learned is this: you, as an individual, can go after your business in such a way, and that's why people sometimes take me kind of hard, but you can use a safety net or not. But the beauty of not using a safety net, you're going to make sure you don't make any mistakes, because that fall, you may not get back up.
Right.
I hope that makes sense.
And the thing I would say is, the A plan, my thing was, I don't have formal education either. I'm no college graduate. I'm no Harvard law guy, MIT, Brown, none of that. I got my PhD from SWU. And for those of y'all that don't know what that is, that's Sidewalk University, School of Hard Knocks. So what I learned is that my A plan became the plan. So that's my A and B. Your A plan has to be the plan. There should be no other options, because when you feel you have options, you always rely on an option. Mm-hmm. It's like being in a committed relationship. The problem and the challenges that a lot of people have in their businesses, in their success, or what they feel their success could be, is the fact that they are dating their business. Ooh. They're not married to it. Mm-hmm. If you aren't committed to your business, just like a marriage, just like a relationship, there is no growth. There can be no success. So,
Gerald, I don't think they understand what you just said, man. I don't think they understand. Let's break this down. You are either dating your business or you married to it. Boy, that's powerful. That is incredibly. I know you get it. I'm talking metaphorically. I love my body diet.
and Fred,
Jen, her name is Jen. Okay, Jen. Yeah, I know you get it. I'm just saying that, but that was a very powerful. How many people are dating their business and how many people are married to it? Because see, here's the difference between dating your business and married to it. When you are dating your business, you always have the option to leave without a whole lot of bad circumstances happening. But when you are married to your business, you got to go before a judge, and there's a chance that you're going to lose 50% right off the bat.
That's true.
And if you see tears in my eyes, it's because I've been there. Trust me when I tell you. You know what I mean?
Fred says.
All I know is when I got married, she wasn't a millionaire, and when I got divorced, she was.
Oh man, did you
So
read
all
what? Did
no,
you
I
read
didn't
what
read
Fred
it.
just wrote? Fred said his is more of a casual.
What he said.
Mine's
I talked
more
to a
of a.
couple
He
about
said his
commitment.
business is more of a casual sex relationship. No
Uh,
jeans allowed though.
yeah. So he gonna hover around that 6-figure point.
Yeah,
Win a little, move a little, win a little, move a little.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
But we're all
go,
jokes aside, but really, that's very, very powerful. And I'm going to use that in the future, Jared. So just know that I just stole it. You can put this on blast.
I just stole it.
I just stole it. It's recorded, whatever. I just stole it from Gerald. Stolen. In fact, the next blab should be: are you dating your business or you're married to it? Damn it! Somebody gonna steal it over here. Why did I even say that? Damn. It's probably I love my body diet.
This is what happens when we get together. See, I mean, things just happen.
Look at K Collins. That's all right. And when you do it, K Collins, we gonna bum rush your blab.
Wait, but Jen said I talked a couple of times about commitment in a marriage. Many are still on the fence even when married. That's true. Yeah. As a matter of fact, just to play with the topic, we're going to wrap up here in about another 20 minutes. So this will be a prequel to the sequel. Are you dating your business, or are you married to you?
Are you dating or married to your business? Go ahead and put it in, because Kay Collins says she's gonna steal it, but that's okay. We're gonna bum rush her room and be like, right here. I love it. I know. She said you got 24 hours to open.
You got 24 hours or it's open. She's like, I'm doing that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Oh, bam. Now what?
All right. So, I mean, the topic keeps evolving, but it in essence, what we're really talking about is how do you make money in business, man? How do you get your business to the level of success where you would like to see it? Oh, Lord. Now Fred just went French on me. Now Fred is a great leader's leader. He's from Canada. Mr. Fred Oban, phenomenal guy. FM Oban. I kept saying Auburn. He taught me how to say it. Mr. If you all aren't following him, you should follow him. He's a great guy on leadership. Does a lot of great war gaming and strategic talks and stuff, but he says 6 figures, and then he threw on some French. I don't know what that says, so I'm not going to try to do that. But why work this hard for a paltry 6? I've got grandkids to pay for. See, that's the mindset of a millionaire. You see, 6 figures ain't enough for him. 6 figures doesn't wake him up in the morning. He's not jumping out of the bed for 6 figures at the end of the year. Though a lot of people, and again, I'm not here to give you aspirational numbers that you should shoot for your life, because your life is your life, and what you feel gives you the measure of success and happiness that you want and the lifestyle you would like to live. Absolutely. I'm not here to tell you how to do that. I'm not here to tell you that you should have that number. But for me, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So I need it to produce revenue. So what we're going to be talking about now is, are you dating or are you married with your business? Because so many people play with business. Mm-hmm. They play at it. It's a hobby. Let's call it. It's a glorified hobby, because they put it on a card. They think they're in business. And just because you put something on a card does not make you a business owner.
There it is. What it makes you is the owner of a card.
You better tell them.
That's what it makes you. Because see, the difference is, and I'm so glad we put that, because now I can really grasp this. You know what I mean? Because I was married for 10 years, so I know what it is to be married to something and then be dating something. And I don't mean say something like that, but I'm just saying is when you are dating your business, you always giving yourself a way out. There is no obligations. There is no commitment. But when you are married, the first thing you ever hear the term that it is cheaper to keep her? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or him, depending on who got the money, et cetera, et cetera. But what people don't realize, though, when you have to put in a commitment, Gerald, it makes you think twice about doing something that will cause that business to have some type of harm, right or wrong.
Absolutely. It does. And when you are committed to your business, you put your all into it. It's a different mindset, as well as a different heart set, a different emotion that you attach to something that you are committed to than you do when you're just kind of, well, we're going through a feeling out period. Look, if you're in business, it's too late to be feeling it out.
Exactly.
You need to be all the way in or all the way out, because what you put in, you're going to get less than what you put in. And that's what people don't understand. Okay.
Okay. So here, and Gerald, I got a way. We're going to take this from 0 to 100 right now.
Yeah,
here's the beauty. I want to make that analogy now between dating and married. Now, let's think about some of the things that we do when we dating, right? When you dating, you just maybe might be doing some little extracurricular activities. You see what I'm saying? Now, let me break it back. And I don't want to, Rob, this ain't personal, Rob. I'm just saying. But
Rob's gone.
Rob's gone? Okay, let me not talk about Rob then. I like to talk about people when they hear. But let's say it like this. If Joe is a doctor, a lawyer, a taxi driver, an airplane pilot, that means Joe is dating his business because he can't be committed to all of those. Okay?
Right.
But if Joe is an airline pilot and a good airline pilot, now Joe is married to the business. He's committed to the business. Joe is stuck in the business. Joe understands the value of the business. Now, let's make these analogies based on, Gerald, being in relationships, which I know you know about. Being in relationships or being married to me. Take an analogy of something that you would do in a relationship and connect it with your business. Go on, bro. This is getting good right here.
Yeah. See what I want.
You know how the pastor does when
look at it.
Say, hey.
Oh man, pilot, high price taxi driver. Not a fan of pilots. Fred, I'm gonna tell you what though, Fred, saying that, I have no problem with a person being a pilot, because you know why? You actually put your hands in that man's hands over and over and over again
when you were flying from one location so you ain't gonna catch me saying nothing wrong about a pilot, because I need my plane to land. But go ahead.
No, but the thing I was going to say is that what people fail to realize is your level of results is always one level kind of below the energy and effort that you put in.
Gerald, have you ever cheated when you was younger?
Wait, I'm going somewhere. Let me do this. I'm trying to explain something to them so they can get this. If you do a good job, what kind of recognition do you get? If you do a good job,
you don't usually get a lot of recognition.
No recognition usually, right?
Right. When you mess up now.
Yep. No. Just listen. If you do a great job, what type of acknowledgement do you typically get?
A pat on the back.
Yeah, a pretty good amount of recognition, pretty good amount of results. You get good results. But if you do an excellent job, you begin to get great recognition.
Right. Because now you've done better than what most people have done.
Exactly, because the level of energy and effort that you put in usually gets you one tier level below the type of results. So if you're doing exceptional, then you get excellent results. If you're doing excellent, you get good result. You get great results. If you're doing great, you get good results. If you're doing good or average, you get no results. So understand that your energy and your effort has to go beyond where you want to be in order for you to achieve the things that you want to do. And most people just want to do a good job. They want to do just good enough or just enough.
Okay. Yes. So Karen said, talk about cheating on your business, please. So Gerald, you do the first one, because people could say all they want to, and men could say all they want to, but there was a time when men are young, dumb, and full of, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the other word.
Right. There's always a situation that you know you made the wrong decision. Okay? Gerald, I want you to make that analogy with that based on connecting with your business. Go ahead.
Okay, she was saying talk about cheating on your business. Now the problem is this came about because I said, a lot of people are just dating their business. They aren't married to it. So the thing is that they try to do 6 things and don't do any of them well because they're trying to do 6 instead of focusing on one thing. People say that they're doing, I have this business, that business, this business, that business, that business. Okay, which one's making money? Well, none of them, but I have 7 businesses. No, you have 7 company names. A lot of them haven't incorporated. They haven't filed LLC. They have 7 business cards and 7 different websites and are completely, utterly broke and totally frustrated, but complaining about why business doesn't work and why it's so hard, because you aren't putting yourself into it. You don't get out anything if you don't put in anything.
There it is.
The problem. That's where they're cheating, and that's why that's what I mean about dating or married to your business. I would love for Coach Karen to come in. I see my brother Galen's in the house. We got a lot of people. Coach Jenny's here. So Benny, I'll let you speak to that, and then we'll start bringing some people in because I definitely want Coach Karen to speak.
Right. And, you hit it perfectly. You're cheating on your business when you doing too many things. Remember, you can only hit one arrow can hit one balloon at a time, right or wrong. Okay. Right. One target at a time. So no matter if you got 20 balloons, you can only hit one at a time with one arrow. Okay. Even if you try to hit it from the side, you're not going to get all of those. People cheat on their business when they got, when I've asked somebody one time, I say, what do you do? They say, well, I'm a coach. I'm a business coach. I drive taxis on the side. I was thinking about going over to Uber. My mom has a company and my dad has a lawn service. Okay, let's try this again. What do you do? I do them all because I'm everything to everybody. We said that earlier, Gerald. You can't be everything to everybody. So how could you possibly be doing it all and be committed to your true relationship? And that's your business. No, you were cheating on it. And you know what happens when you cheat on it, right? You get sloppy seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths. You know why? And think about the guy who's cheating on his business and trying to be that player. You know what I mean? That means he's brokey. You know what I mean? Because brokey.
Not brokey, not a double brokey.
Yeah, he brokey. Because you know why? When it comes to the holidays, he trying to figure out who he gonna buy a present for. Is he gonna buy number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4 a gift? You see? And what happens is your attention gets distracted. And when your attention gets distracted, you can't focus on your core commitment. And your core commitment is that business that's making that money. And so you wonder why you're only making a little couple dollars here and a couple dollars here and a couple dollars here. Why? Because you are trying to be a player. You're not a player, homie. You're not a player.
You just crush a lot.
You crush a lot.
Your own dreams a whole lot. That's the problem.
And think about, and what happens, Gerald? What happens when you cheat on your business and you crush a lot? You know what happens, Gerald? You bring something home you didn't want to bring home. And as Kool Moe Dee said, go see the doctor.
Absolutely.
And you know what that means? Bankruptcy. Bam! Stop playing, man. Stop cheating on your business, man. That's what people don't realize. You got
Exactly.
played. You right, K College. You got played. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
So this is a very, very important thing, because a lot of people have so many ideas. They think they have to do them all at once. And until you get one up and running, you can't have four businesses. There's no such thing as building four businesses or five businesses at the same time. One must
Right.
get successful, then you can move on to a second, because you have to systemize that one so that it can be sustainable. And if you don't have a system, you can't move on.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And then what, and see, what happens when you are committed? Let me tell you something. When you're committed, man, it's a whole different world, because now you only got one beautiful woman to focus on. So you're able to do the wonderful things. You can take her to the car lot and say, baby, what you want me to buy you? You know what I mean? You're committed to her. You ain't got to worry about the other four. So by you being committed to your business, you will increase your revenue, ladies and gentlemen. Increasing your revenue because you have put all your energy into being so committed that your business has to repay you in kind for it. Woo! Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen.
We ain't even gonna talk about commitment and dedication, which are two separate words that people use.
Can I get an amen? Just please, somebody let me get an amen.
Wait,
go ahead.
Fred said, gents, there's a reason selection and maintenance of the aim is the first principle of war. Well, Fred, I know you're watching baseball right now. It would be great if we could have you come in for a second and just speak and meet the people, because this is a very important topic. Oh, yeah, and the election. You're doing like 5 different things.
See, right now, Fred is cheating on his blab.
No, what he's cheating on is the baseball game, because he's committed to his Toronto Blue Jays. You have to understand their point.
No, we need him to be committed to here.
I understand that, but the fact that he went away from his Blue Jays to come hang with us says something about what we're doing.
Yes, Mr. Fred. Yes, Mr. Fred. He said, don't on his TV. There it is. See, that's what happened when you're cheating. You be missing some stuff. You were supposed to see when you're cheating on your business, then you were supposed to pick her up, but you forgot because you thought it was number 1 you were supposed to pick up, and it was really number 3 you were supposed to pick up. But if you was committed to your business, you ain't got to worry about it. You're gonna send a limo there. You know why? Because you only have one destination to pick her up and take her around the city. Man, you gotta love your business like you love your woman, man.
Yeah. And the problem is that a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to commit. Just like in real life, they don't want to commit to the relationships. They don't want to be dedicated. And commitment and dedication speak to 2 different levels.
You got to be excellent, extraordinary at one thing, and then you can branch out. We name a couple of celebrities that are doing well in what they do. For instance, you say Puff Daddy. What is his core business? Music. Now, he's branched out and did so many other things, but his core business is music. You see what I'm saying? 50, what is his core business? Music. But he's branched out into headphones, Dr. Dre and all of them. But their core business was that. And then they became so good at that, now they was able to go out and expand. And that's like being in a great relationship. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're in a great relationship, you can always increase the activity of that relationship. Maybe you guys never went on a overseas trip. Now you can take her to Paris without even thinking about how much money it's going to take. You can take her to some place like, I'm getting ready to go on a trip to Bora Bora. You can go to these places that don't even have cell phone service. You know why? Because you've been so committed to your business that your business has paid off, and it paid off big. So when you take a big risk, the rewards are incredible. But the problem is most people keep forgetting where their core business is. They're too busy looking at everything that's passing by, like, ooh, look at her and look at her. And no. focus right here. Keep your, just like when you walking down the street with your lady and you know you see a pretty girl coming from that other corner, but you're going to keep your eyes right here because you ain't about to get hit up by side the head. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, okay, Karen's ready. She's going to jump in. The last thing I would say is that, you know, as Benny was just talking about, if you're dating and playing and messing around, then the energy and the fullness of what you could gain from that relationship or from that business will fall short. And relationships are all about possibility. Now, when you are dedicated and committed, commitment speaks to your level of focus. Dedication speaks to your level of energy. That's why you talk about like dedicated phone lines. Dedication and commitment aren't the same thing. You commit the dedication. So what I would say is that you expand those possibilities because you become so good at one thing. That's why 50 was able to branch out. That's why he was able to do vitamin water endorsement deals. Why? Because he was so great at music. They were like, you know what? We want you to be a spokesperson. We want to give you an opportunity for this because you are so excellent at one thing. When you become exceptional, that's when people pay you. People pay you because you're a level 10. People don't pay you when you're a level 6.
Whoa, you better preach, boy.
So it's just the difference. And I got my girl, Miss Karen Graves, in the house.
What's up, my friend? How you doing? Hi, we haven't met before, but it's so nice to see you.
Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm loving this discussion because marriage, marriage, business, it really is a marriage. It's a commitment. You have to be committed. You have to be focused. And I really want to call out people who are treating their businesses like a mistress that they never want to come out in the light.
There you go.
She went there.
It's like I keep it hidden in the closet and I let it peek out every once in a while. Every once in a while I bring her out, but I really don't like to take her out and show her in broad daylight because she's not ready yet. She's a little ugly. So we keep her hidden. I take her to clubs that nobody knows me.
There you go.
All up in the closet, just like, no, you got the closet locked. Ooh, Karen, you better preach.
So, we have to think about this is, Jenny talked about come out of the closet.
I love Coach Jenny. Coach Jenny, you're going to have to come up here. I need Coach Jenny up here, too. We got
Come in to see Jenny. Oh, Lord.
Come on, Coach Jenny. Come on up here. I knew she's going to say no. She always says no.
But go ahead, Karen.
Let's talk cooking.
So the thing about it is, a lot of times we have to be so in love with this business that we have to be willing to show it off. Tell people about it. Let the world know. This is my boo. This is my boo. I'm committed. I'm married. Everybody should know. But a lot of times we don't. And that's a lot of businesses. Right? So we have to be upfront. And here's the other thing, too, about these relationships with our businesses. When the going gets tough and we want to break up, we got to stay in and love it anyway. Love it through the rough times. For better or worse. Sickness and health. Death do its part. You got to stay in there and commit to it and stay. And I love what you were saying about this is my only relationship. I'm not looking at the cutie over there. I'm not looking at the cutie across the street. You got to stay like this, blinders on.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people miss that as that level of commitment.
Because you know what, Karen, when I first began a long time ago, I've been in business now for probably 20 years now and out of the corporate world. And what I learned, people used to say, you're so focused and you're so focused. No, it was that I was so committed to what had to happen. I didn't know anything else. I didn't have time to look to the side. I didn't have time to find out what was going on in my neighbor's house. You see what I'm saying? Because their relationship did not affect me. You see what I'm saying? My honey, she was so fly. Everything about her was like, bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? It kept me focused. And then she paid off. And she paid off in a big way. And when she paid off, we just went, now we can go make it rain and I don't even have to worry about, if my shoes get wet, we can make it rain. You know what I mean? Because I'm committed to her. And when I'm so committed to her, she committed back to me. And there's nothing she can't do that I won't help her with. And there's nothing I won't do to help her. I love this girl.
Yeah, so that's a deep level of commitment and belief in the relationship.
Bam! There it is.
It's commitment and dedication. You're using the energy as well as the focus. And that's what this is all about, because a lot of people have energy. Now, the problem, as Karen was talking about, is that you have two extremes. You have the people that won't tell you about their business, and then you have the verbal vomit people. Well, I do. I do blah blah blah. I'm a coach. I'm an energy person. I also sell auto insurance, and I also do life insurance. And if you like to, I have a car business where I do detailing. Okay, which one's you? What do you do? Everything. What do you need? You can't identify, as we talk about, if you can't explain your business, you can't expect people to be able to understand your business or understand why they need to utilize your service. So it goes to two extremes. Either they don't talk or they talk too much. They talk themselves right out of possible relationships that can help them in the future, possible business and future referrals. So it's just understanding, being clear on what you do, and then committing to what you do. That produces results.
So saying a lot of people, it's kind of like the spouse who talks over their spouse,
right?
Partner who talks over their partner and tries to explain their partner without the partner speaking for itself.
Absolutely.
And here's what else happens in some of these relationships. What people don't realize, sometimes you're going to have your neighbor come over and try to tell you what's good for your marriage. But then if you really find out about theirs, their marriage suck. But they over here trying to tell you and give you counsel on what you need to work out in your marriage. Can't nobody tell you about your business like you can tell you about your business unless they're involved in it and they're looking from the outside in, somebody whose intention is to help you grow that relationship, like that pastor or like that marriage counselor who their entire focus and job is to what? To make your situation better. But you can't be listening to Leroy over there who got thrown out the house and he has to sleep on your couch trying to tell you what you need to do. And now he in your refrigerator eating your food. And you know what happens? You let people in your refrigerator, it's hard to get them out because they're going to think they deserve to be there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to be careful about people coming from next door. It's okay if they come and borrow some sugar, but they're going back home. But if they sit down to dinner and they start opening your refrigerator without asking, you got some problems up in
there. Yeah, I mean that is the challenge. The worst vice that a lot of people have is advice from people that don't know anything about what they're doing. Don't add your vices to mine. I got my own. If it's unsolicited, I didn't ask you, and a lot of times it's people that aren't doing what you're trying to do. So they have no clue of how to help you. How can you advise me on running a business and you haven't even thought of something that you love enough to try to start a business?
So let me ask you which question. Fred said Auburn's oxen.
No, that's not a question. That's just a statement.
Okay. It says everyone says nobody knows our business better than we do. So what are you doing with these pearls of wisdom? See, here's, I think you're taking it the wrong way, Fred. Well, this is just my opinion of it. When I say Gerald just brought it up, if your friend builds bicycles, how can he help you be a lawyer? The point, what I'm saying is, if the person, you should model yourself and connect with those people who are doing exactly what you want to do, not somebody who's a lifeguard and trying to tell you how you should fix your business of cutting lawn. You need somebody who's doing what you want to do because they have been through some things that they can help you. And trust me, when you want to do the same exact thing, but maybe even bigger and better, you have the opportunity to learn from those who's doing. I think what the point I was trying to get across is that a lot of times people take advice. You know what they say when you get in a lawyer? You know what I mean? If you need a music lawyer, go to an entertainment lawyer. Don't go to an insurance lawyer. He may understand the terminology, but he may not know all the ins and outs of what it takes to help somebody in the entertainment business, what the contracts matter. So that's the point I'm trying to say, is that deal with people that are doing what you do. What happens is a lot of times we see people with all the glory and they've never done what you want to do, but we use that person to blanket our business and everybody else's business because they've had success in what they do. If you want to be a coach and a business and life coach, then you go to one that's already successful and making the money that you want to do and at the level you want to do. It's so much easier to go that way because we all learn from others' experience. That's what the experience is all about. Without an experience, you're not getting much. You have to have that experience. When you go to a job, what's the first thing they say? After they look at your education, they say, what experience do you have in that industry?
Thanks, Coach Karen. Thanks so much.
Karen just dropped that mistress thing up in here.
She has a call.
All right. Karen said, this is why my car has one steering wheel. I'm driving, so either be a passenger or get the step. Woo! You go, Miss Collins. You hit that right on point. I love that.
He's on topic with us anyway. He was agreeing. He was saying, what are those people doing with those pearls of wisdom? Since nobody knows their business better than them. So, yeah, this has been a great discussion, and we went over 2 hours. So I think we will wrap this up. This may have to be a part 2 type of thing here because we just scraped the surface on this particular segment of the discussion. You know, are you dating or married to your business?
Great topic. Absolutely great topic. I mean, when you came up with that one, are you dating or married to it? I just got chill bumps. You know what I mean? Because if you're not married to your business, I can guarantee if you're not married to your business, that relationship ain't gonna last. That's one thing I can tell you. You see what I'm saying? It takes that commitment. And when you are married to it, you're not gonna be running to divorce court so quick. You're going to try to figure it out. You're going to try to make it happen. You're going to try to do those things that makes this business understand that, hey, I'm committed to you. We're going through some rough times right now. Let us reorganize, but I'm not going to walk away from you. And when you get to that level of commitment to your business will also commit back to you. Does that make sense, Gerald?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. You get out what you put in. And the fact is, a lot of people just don't put in enough time, enough energy, and enough will, which is where the commitment comes from. Because that's about will. You will yourself to stuff when you're committed to it. You know, you might not feel like getting up, but you're going to get up because it matters that much. So,
there it is.
Thank you all for coming out, man. We're getting ready to end this. Went a little past 2 hours. This has been great. I want to thank Mr. Benny Randall and Karen and Ava, Laura and Tiffany and Kim and Tish and gosh, so many people came through here. This was phenomenal. We may have a part 2 of this. No, not a may. We will have a part 2 of this.
Absolutely.
This really needs to be addressed. And I want to thank you all for coming out to the Great O'Clock again. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you soon. All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Great O'Clock. It is Monday, and we have a very special guest here with us this evening. Mr. Benny Randall is in the house, and tonight's topic is your business set up for success? We're going to be talking about how to set your business up so that it's scalable and profitable. Because before you scale, you have to be profitable. So let's just go into this. But first, I will let Mr. Benny Randall give you all an introduction about who the man is behind the voice. Mr. Benny Randall, please take it away.
I'm just riding shotgun. I'm just Benny Randall Jr., a.k.a. the motivator. It's not a game. It's a lifestyle. I think everybody can make money. I make money. We all make money. You should know that right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I am Gerald DuBose.
Mr. Gerald, let the people know who you are, and let's just make this happen.
Absolutely. And I'm Gerald DuBose. My company is the New Wealth Order. we work with entrepreneurs and help them increase profitability by implementing value-driven sales and marketing systems and creating a winning culture within the business. And a lot of people fail to realize how important culture is. So very shortly, very quick, now let's just get into it. I see my brother Charlotte Socials here.
Supposed to do an introduction like that?
Huh?
Was I supposed to do an introduction like that?
Hey man, you're the motivator. You introduce how you introduce, you know.
Man, to having value.
Do that.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges I see with people when they are doing their business or setting up their business for success is a lot of people can't even explain what they do. And if you can't explain what you do, why is somebody going to buy from you?
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like opening a store and having a whole bunch of stuff in it, but you don't even know who your target customer is. And then a lot of times when you don't know who your target customer is, you just got a door opening and you're just hoping people will just show up. But business doesn't happen like that. People don't just show up. People need a reason to show up. People come to places that give them an experience, you know, something that they appreciate, someone that makes them feel a certain type of way. Like they say, people will remember how you made them feel more so than anything that you sold.
Absolutely. And again, the thing is, I talked a little about this last week for some of the people that were here last week, about people tend to verbally vomit about their business. And in the end, they've really said nothing that explains what it is they do so that they can make money, you know. So
I like verbally vomit. Is that what you said?
Yeah, verbally vomit about their business. So you have to be very specific in how you explain what you do so that people will know whether they're your customer or if they're able to even refer someone else to you. You know, sometimes it's not even about them perhaps being the customer. It's about them being able to introduce you to someone that may be your customer.
Absolutely.
And if they have no understanding, then there's no way they can do either of the two.
But you think about it, Jerry, it's like trying to teach somebody to drive a car and you've never driven the car. You know, both of you are stuck. You're looking pretty in it, but you ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Eventually, you want to get up and you want to go somewhere. Eventually, you want to do something that, you know, takes you to the next level. A lot of times people pick out a pretty car, but they don't know how to drive it. And therefore, they just look good in the parking lot. And the only people that they meet in the parking lot is the people that are parking.
That's it.
Okay? It is just that simple.
That is so true. You know, my thing is to make it clear for the way I put it, and Rob just put a great thing there. Confused mind says no. Absolutely. Well, it depends on what your purpose is. Now, when you're explaining your business, you never want them confused. You would like them to maybe ask you a question, but not be like, okay, I don't know what the heck that just meant. That's not the question you want. but what you would want is, explain that a little further, because now they're curious. See, now confusion does allow people to be open to receive information. But if you're trying to entice them to talk about your business, confusion entices them to say no, they don't know what the heck you're talking about. So it's,
you know, what the response I look for, Gerald? You know what the response I look for? I look for, you know what? I was just thinking about getting into that. I was just thinking about I needed one of those.
Absolutely.
Have conveyed your message clearly. They knew exactly what you were talking about, and you rung a bell. It's the same concept as you ever go online and search something for Google, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you don't buy it at that point, but you ever look on the other side, and sometimes all of a sudden up in Facebook and everything, that same thing that you were searching out just happens to be there because they paid attention to what you wanted.
Absolutely.
What has to happen, people don't pay attention to what their customers want. You see what I'm saying? Or need in their life. They just figure, this is what I'm going to do. I created this and you need it because I need the money. That's not how business works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your product or service is I once heard that the greatest products and services are created with the customer in mind, not about your ego. It's about the end client, what their experience is going to be, what it is that they need for their service. Because in the end, excuse me, people, in the end, what business really, in essence, if you want to boil it down to one sentence, what business is really about is solving problems for your client. If you can't explain how you solve their problem, you will not make money.
You got that right. I've always said that the people that solve the most problems are the people that create the most wealth. And they do it without effort, because people like to have their problem solved. Remember, every time somebody goes to buy something or some type of product or something like that, it's going to do something for them. Whether a young lady who goes in and buys this perfume that smells so good because she wants to smell better. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Or the guy who goes and gets the haircut from a certain barber because, it makes him look, like real fly and sexy and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just teasing here. But the whole point is that you have to solve problems. And if you solve a problem, you'll never have to worry about the revenue aspect, because people always come back to people that solve problems. And I think what a lot of new entrepreneurs miss in the game, they think that they can sell to people one time, Gerald, and that's it. No, you need people to continue to come back again and again. Without repeat customers, you don't have a business. Period.
That's it. That is it. And Rob Rudy has a question over here. Do you think all people that bought cars from them for the same reason? Of course not. Absolutely, Rob. You're right. They were sold on a need or desire. Rob, that is precisely it. And what I'd like to say, I'm trying to word this a certain way, is that when you are looking at, once you're past the introduction, we haven't even got past the introduction phase, but when you get into the selling process, that's where flexibility must happen, because you have to be able to not be rigid. It's no one approach to solve everyone's problem. You have to solve problems differently because each person has a different need or reasoning why they need that product or service. And you have to be willing to understand that everyone is not your client. Amen. So that's point number 2. And we're just going to go straight into that. Everybody is not your client, and
absolutely.
A lot of startups really get stuck in that mode where they start saying, first thing we ask as coaches is, okay, who's your client? Everybody needs this. Okay. You're losing right now. As soon as you say that, everybody needs this.
Because everybody don't need it.
Absolutely not. Everybody needs water, but some people like Deer Park. Some people like Glacier. Some people like Avion. Some people still rather drink tap water than any bottled water. Some people want zero water. So there's different reasonings and selling points for why these people need your service. And if you are trying to sell to everybody, you end up selling to nobody. Really. Mr. Randall, I will definitely let you take it away right there.
I wanted to, when he was talking about the car, I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. And that is absolutely, everybody buys cars for different reasons. Some people buy the car for transportation needs. Some people buy cars for how they look in them because they're expensive. Some people buy cars because they like to collect them. You got to find out what is the customer's purpose and how can you solve that problem. Mayweather has 30 cars? He can only drive one at a time, but he likes to collect them. keep them for a little while, and then resell them back to other people, at these enormous prices that, trying to get more than you had. So you got to ask yourself, what is my service? What value do I bring when it comes to this service? You know what I mean? Because that's what people are looking for. People are looking for the value that it brings into their life. Nobody buys anything to make you feel better. People only buy stuff to make themselves have a better experience in life, whatever it may be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And just like Rob said, and some people just want a car to get from point A to point B. So if you don't understand what their reasoning is, what the purpose, as Benny just so eloquently said, is of them having to come to you for that service or product, then you will never be able to close the deal, because you're just basically running your mouth. And nobody wants to be sold to. People would like to be serviced. And that's a difference, especially in the age where we're in information and technology. It's really more about how are you servicing your client, not how you are selling per se to the client. And
let me very... Gerald. I want you to think about this for a second. How many times have you went out to get something? You already made up your mind. You don't did your research, whatever. And the store you're going to, the person really don't have to sell it to you. You just allow them to think they're doing something. But you've made up your mind before you. I know when it comes to me, I've made up my mind long before I go in that place. If I'm walking out with something, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
I may give them the opportunity just to allow them to feel maybe they're selling me something, whatever. But I've made up my mind before I even go in that store, because I'm not a big window shopper type of person. I usually find out what it is I want. I do the research on it, and the only thing we may have an issue is if we can play around with the price of it.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, if we can do that, of course, I'm going to try to get the best deal. But outside of that, I've already calculated whatever it is and how much money it will take to attain that product.
Yes, absolutely.
Customer, and then you got the impulse customer, the person who walks in but may not really want it, but because he sees that really pretty girl with the big dookie smile on it, and he's thinking, maybe if I buy it, she'll give me her phone number. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he never gets the phone number, but he walks out thinking that he can come back next time and get it.
And Rob Rudy just made a great point over there. He said, why do you think there is a such thing as buyer's remorse? Because people buy out of emotion, not logic. And that's true. Well, people make decisions in life. I mean, that's going even deeper. Most decisions in life are based on emotion. Very little is based on logic. As logical as we like to think we are emotional beings by nature. And people try to shell over that, especially guys. I mean, hey, I can't sit and act like we don't. No, we think through. No, we feel through. And then we usually think during the process of doing, but we feel through and then think. So that's so true. But
I think we jumped ahead a little bit. Let's go back to the process of setting up your business per se.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Let's run through those right quick. Let's start off with
what type of business you want to start? LLC?
No, not even the type of formation of the business.
Okay.
Okay, let's start off with sole proprietorship. Okay, sole proprietorship basically means like you can go down to your county clerk and you can say, I want to do business as DBA, JoJo's, whatever. And it allows you to go and set up a bank account. It allows you to do business as an individual. But the only difference is you will end up itemizing your stuff along with your regular income, but you have it as DBA, But the drawback with a sole proprietorship is that you have zero protection. If you're having a business where people walk into your store, they fall down, or into your company, whatever, they hurt themselves, then you set yourself up for a lawsuit because you don't have any protection. All right?
Absolutely.
Now, we can go to an LLC. which is you want to say something on this whole proprietorship, Mr.
No. I think you're rolling. Just keep going. I mean, yeah. Sole proprietorships give you no protection, and it is the entity that most people
do right off the back.
Exactly, because it's just them. It's them by themselves, and they think that's the easiest one. Not knowing that, as you're about to elaborate on, there are single member LLCs. There are, many various different parts of business. But go ahead. I'll let you explain that.
You want to go ahead and tell the people about the LLC, and then I'll do the S corp.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then you have your LLCs, which are your limited liability companies, and they also have something called LLPs now, which is just a new extension of a partnership, which is limited liability partnerships. And what that does is give you some of the corporate shell protections without having to actually have a board of directors and have meeting minutes and things of that nature. Now, what LLCs do is that they can function as either single member LLCs, or you can have multiple partners in an LLC. Now, the difference between an LLP and an LLC is just simply semantics, honestly. Most LLCs are LLPs. So,
I mean, I think you said what it was, and that is that one's a partnership and one's not a partnership.
Right.
It's just that simple. One's a partnership and one's not a partnership. So we'll move on to S corp. Now, S corp is right below a C corp. A S corp can be a sole corporation because an LLC is below an S corp. And what an S corp does, it allows you to use your tax benefits at the federal level and allows you to not be double taxed, as they say. You know what I mean? And when you have a corporation, a lot of times you can be taxed at the corporate level and at the level below that. You see what I'm saying? So it allows you not to be taxed, double taxed. It also allows you to have what they call a flow through. And a flow through is being able to take money from another source that you may have made and let it flow through. Let the what's the word I'm looking for? Let the losses flow through to that, therefore decreasing the amount that you have to pay on taxes. It's a little more deeper than that, but just to give people, you can Google all of this stuff online, per se, and you'll get thousands of explanations to it.
Absolutely. And then of course you have your C corp, your standard C corp, which is the inks that you see. When you see INC, that means they are incorporated. Means you are officially a corporation, which means you need a board of directors. You have to have meeting minutes and all of those things. And what that does is a protection of assets for the owners. It gives them a lot of protection because the liability then in turn falls on the company for certain functionalities. So, which is the purpose why people go into corporations and get inked. But a lot of small businesses aren't prepared to be inked because they aren't ready for meeting minutes and corporate and board of directors and things of that nature, and you haven't even made $25 yet. You have to consider what level you are before you start thinking about things like that. And I'll let Benny speak to that a little more.
And on top of that, though, when you at that corporate level is the reason why a lot of people don't go to the corporate level, because you're going to end up paying taxes, even if you don't make money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a limited amount of taxes that you will pay some taxes, unlike when you're in a sole proprietorship, you don't make no money, you don't pay no taxes. You see what I'm saying? And some LLCs, but when you're at that corporate level, you don't make money. You still have whatever your state has, you still have a tax liability. So, a lot of people don't go there because they're afraid that they're going to be paying taxes and they made no money. But if you ain't made no money, that means you ain't doing no business. You ain't doing no business. I don't even know why you're calling yourself a business.
How about that? And all these people are doing that. And then the newest thing that people are doing, of course, we won't even go into the benefit corporation yet. We'll just talk about when you go into your 501c3s and all that stuff, they are titled as nonprofits.
They have a lot of regulations, though.
Yeah, a ton of regulations.
Yeah, you got to be clear when you're doing that, though. You got to be
E-
very, very clear.
Exactly. And then you have the last one, of course, is the benefits corporation, which is the newest thing that people are doing, which is not necessarily, it's like a cross between a C Corp and a 501c3, where you are doing stuff that benefits the public. And Rob said he has a 501c3 for his homeless ministry. That is great, Rob. You know what, Rob? I'm going to need you to come on screen. I don't get to talk to Rob much. He actually does some stuff with us around Blab all the time. It's going to be great to get Rob in a seat here to actually get to talk to him about what it is he does and how he does what he does. But okay, cool. 1 second. But those are all the different types of businesses. Is everybody clear on where we are and all that type of stuff? I know Fred. I'm going to have him jump in. Fred has a lot to say all the time.
Well, Fred said, absolutely emotional, still laminating my purchase of a Microsoft Zoom in
He said,
2002.
not easy to watch Greater Canadian election and Game 3 of the American League.
Okay, there go Rob Rudy right there.
All right, here's Rob.
All right, give me a
My
second.
brother Rob Rudy.
My camera here, I wasn't ready to jump on, so.
Oh, it's cool, Rob. It's all right.
He said he wasn't ready to jump.
All right, gentlemen, how are you doing?
We are great, Rob. How are you, brother? So good to actually talk to you again live here, brother.
Yeah. I love what you guys are doing, man. I appreciate you guys putting the information out here and giving people the opportunity to kind of decide for themselves what works out best. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
So tell us about your 501c, Rob.
Yeah, my mother and I, a few years back, we were looking for something to do together, and our church was doing basically a community outreach, and they wanted people to go out into the public and find ways we can serve the community. And so at the time, I was staying at a place right behind it. There was like a bunch of kids' toys and everything, and I thought, because I just moved in, I thought maybe there were like people were just throwing stuff away. So I said, I wonder what's all back there. Why don't they have that? And so, we looked, and she said, I think this is like a drop off or something. So we went inside and we looked, and it was a pregnancy center. So we started working with them. And at the same time, somebody at my church said, hey, we have this homeless ministry. We go downtown and we feed the homeless. And we're kind of looking for somebody to take over, because the one guy that was heading it up was kind of going off to seminary. So I just really felt like, God put it on my heart that was what, I needed to do. And so I got into, doing that. And we started, going down and serving, and it just kind of expanded. So we said, let's get in and let's get this, all set up with a, like a corporation and be able to take donations. Cause we kept finding, excuse me, as we go different places, they said, well, if you don't have a 501c3, we really don't, we can't donate to you. We're looking for donations, and,
they need to be able to do that deduction.
Yeah. So we actually went through and it was a process. I mean, it was like a 40-page document that, the 1023 form and everything. So, from somebody that's not really, legal minded. So it was just a process. And so we finally worked our way through that, got that done, and, got our 501c3 status, and it retroed it back to the formation of the corporation. And so, that's what we've been kind of doing.
On top of that, Rob, also the regulations that they make you, like your record keeping has to be very, very good.
Yeah. So we do the meetings, and we have the minutes and everything, and we have also the the projections and everything that we had when we set it up, and there was a fee to kind of, if you're under this amount, and we don't really run a lot of money through the business. Most of the stuff we do is just through other organizations. Like, we're able to get food from some different food banks and different places. So we really haven't launched we don't have any employees. We're all full-time, what we do. And this is just kind of, part-time.
So you're not gathering a salary from it. Is
correct?
That
Yeah. Nobody's drawing anything from it. It's just something where, as people donate, whatever money to it, or if we do something, we kind of put it in there and we use it to, as needed. In the beginning, we were buying a lot of stuff for food and that, because we just didn't have the connections. But as we got the 501c3, then that allowed us to kind of do a little bit more. So But yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, my thing is I like going down. You know, we go down every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we just kind of build relationships with the people, and you know, that's my area. Like, I like to do that, but I've had to take on many roles because, you know, they're, you know, starting out, and we're still like 3 years old. It's not like young, but not old. And so, yeah, I mean, so until you get people to jump in and fill the spots, like you're really wearing a lot of hats, you know, so.
But it sounds like you love, you know what I mean? It sounds like you love it, and it's more of a passion than it is to actually make money, you know, because people set up nonprofits. You know, I ain't gonna say no names. Let's just say I've known people to set up nonprofits just to run money through.
Sure.
You know, I know people that set up nonprofits. It's supposed to be nonprofit, and there's a whole lot of profit going on.
Oh yeah, or it pays like a salary for them, which they're doing something else, and so it's really, you know, they're making money off of that, and you know, or they use it for the tax write-offs, you know, and you have to make sure you fill the 990 out every year and do all that stuff to kind of stay in compliance, or they'll just yank that, you know, from underneath you, the nonprofit status. So
they have no problem taking it back from you. That's the thing people got to be conscious of.
Oh yeah, and it was like, I forgot. I mean, it was a long waiting period just to get approved. I mean, people think you just sign up and then it's like a week later or 2 weeks later. I mean, it was like, when I did it, it was actually like a year and some out into the future as to when they were actually just reviewing the document. So, you know, it was a process. And then when we got it, it was cool to get the message. Actually, when we got the notice, I was just like, because I heard so many horror stories about how they rejected over stupid things if you're not really specific. And we went through, you know, lawyers and people helping us and everything else. Sorry about my phone's on here. So yeah, you go through and you know, we were having people do that, and they really got it, you know, it's your baby, right? So when people talk or criticize or whatever, you know, you kind of get, you know, a little defensive. And I remember we sat down with this one college and they helped us through some stuff. And the professor that was overseeing it, our mission statement started off as, we help people meet their basic needs or something like that, you know, help the homeless people meet their, and she just like did this squinting and she's like, what does that mean? And I mean, I remember I was like crossed up, like, all right, we're out of here. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to have this lady rip me. And she's like, look, here's where I'm coming from. You know, when they review this, when the reviewer goes over this, they're going to be wanting to know specifically what you do. And if you can say, this is what we do. So, you know, you have to get more concise on what you do, because ultimately, you know, that's what's going to decide, you know, whether or not they're going to say, okay, you know, this is, you know, somebody that we can say is actually, you know, doing something for the public versus this is somebody that's just trying to, you know, create this organization. So it then came to our mission was, you know, we feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, inspire the despaired, provide clothing to the poor, and teach and exemplify the message of Jesus Christ to all. So it went from meeting people's basic needs to that, you know, so.
So let me ask you this, Rob.
Yes,
all right, quick, so we don't go too far away from where we at. Let me ask you a question now. So do you have a for-profit business?
Yeah, well, actually, I have a network marketing company that I am a part of, and I also teach people, you know, coach people in that, you know, coach network marketers so that they can kind of achieve the life that they want. So
is that MLM and MLP, that type of stuff?
MLM, yes, sir. Yeah.
Is that what it
and
is?
I've had several businesses myself. I've owned brick and mortars. Like I had a computer consulting business with a gaming center attached to kind of help give back to the community. I like to you know, keep kids off the street. So I went into my hometown, and it was kind of a poor neighborhood where I grew up, and you know, I wanted to get kids off the street. So I had a gaming center, just charge them like $5 an hour. They can come in out of the streets in the air condition or heat, depending on obviously the time of year, play some games and not be doing knucklehead stuff, you know? So did that. I did consulting, you know, computer repair and upgrades, you know, all kind of different things. So yeah, so I've had, you know, brick and mortars and profits before. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: which one is your primary business? Which one is
your core business?
The core bit of your income right now. It sounds like you have a definite passion for the 501c3, but that's not your golden goose right now, I'll say.
Right. My plan is to right now. Actually, I hold a full-time job as an analyst for a bank, but I work from home, so it allows me to do these other things. So I'm able to go out and I'm able to do my nonprofit. I'm able to step out and do my, network marketing company. So my goal is here in probably about a year, depending on how, it goes. And if I need to jump over sooner, then fine. But I want to be able to have the network marketing company built up enough so that I can just work for the nonprofit, not draw a salary or tax them in any way as far as needing money from them. So that's what I'm just kind of building that on the side,
So let me jump in. Can I jump in for a minute, Gerald?
Go ahead, Benny, because we're probably thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's what needs to happen, man. You have a core business, so that means you have a job, but you don't have that core business that allows you that freedom. But the first steps you need to actually do, though, you need to bring the passion business to the point of the support level. Mm-hmm. You understand? So without you saying your salary here, your first goal should be to double your salary so that you can create that freedom hub to be able to focus strictly on your network marketing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you do have a job, what happens is you have, it's taking time away from your focus of what you really want to do, being able to walk away and not be under the tightening. Like I like to say, a job is a jail. Right. A job is a jail operating as a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, and don't get it wrong, people. I'm not saying nobody should have a job, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that when you wake up in the morning, I always say this, and everybody that knows me, you're either building your dream or you're building somebody else's dream.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've been blessed to wake up in the morning and build my dreams. That's it. You know what I mean? Because when I made up my mind to go is when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You have to put yourself in that mind frame, because I think what happens with a lot of people get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you don't take the risks you need to take. You see what I'm saying? And, that comfortability is hard to escape, when okay, I get this much of money, I can eat this much, et cetera, and then you thinking over here, okay, I need XXX clients to be able to, have that freedom. So I always tell people your first point of business should be able to, how can you get your business where you want to be at to double what you're actually making? Because you already, let's just say you was making $100,000. You already know that you can live off $100,000, right?
Right. Yep.
Right. So if you got $200,000, that should put you in a position to have a cushion. But unfortunately, people make more, they spend more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to have that freedom, you got to be able to say, hey, this is where I want to be. And to me, what it seems like, Rob, you want freedom. That's what it seems like. Because
that's what I'm working on. Yep.
You want to go to the 501c and do what you do. But in order to have that freedom, that network business has to come up to a certain level, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
And let me ask you the one power question. Why haven't that happened?
I just, it's the amount of time I put towards it. I mean, it's something that, with all the irons in the fire, that's what's happening. So.
Right. Are you scared, Rob?
No, not at all.
You quit your job tomorrow.
Okay. Let me call him right now.
Rob, if you don't stop lying, don't blab.
No, and you're right to the flexibility thing, and that's why work at home. I mean, honestly, like I can run all those other things at the same time, and I'm building my wealth on the side, and it's growing, and it's awesome, and I get to go down and do the stuff with the homeless and do my ministry.
Right.
So really, it's even more comfort with the stay at home, and so. Yeah, I'm able to, benefit wise.
$1 million question, Rob. Why are you scared? What you scared of?
Oh, I'm not scared of anything. It's just like I said, it's the comfortability, like the fact that I'm able to, keep this salary here and be able to do the other stuff. It's
So you're scared of losing the paycheck. Is that what you're scared of, Rob?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm scared of losing the paycheck.
So if you're scared of you're not scared of losing the paycheck, how come you ain't left?
Because it's comfortable. It's like I said, I can do all that stuff at the same time. You know what I mean? Now, if it was something where I had to dedicate 10 hours a day to the job and you know what I mean? And then I got 15 minutes at night to do the business or whatever, that'd be different. But I mean, it allows me to, you know, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility there. Yeah.
Well, my thing would be this, and this is the little piece I'm going to add. It seems like that your heart really is behind the ministry stuff, because that sounds like where you really are emotionally drawn. Is that kind of what I'm getting, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think my view would be that you need to find a way to, one, first of all, if you're working for a nonprofit and you created it, there's nothing wrong with you paying yourself a salary for that, because you can account for that. You need to find a way that you can get enough donation that pays you, and then you can walk away from everything else and live that way.
Right.
And you can still do the network marketing, multi-level marketing as a side piece to that, but your ministry is your legacy piece. It sounds like that's where you and your mom really love what you're doing. So you need to find a way that you get those donations and you drive that, and that will free you from everything else. That's
and that's part of why you know, that I haven't launched that full time, is because I'm trying to put the leadership and the directors and stuff like that in place.
Okay.
Because as of right now, I'm the president of the corporation, the chairman of the board. So I don't know that being the executive director and getting paid, like as far as conflict of interest and money and all the other stuff, like I've talked to a couple lawyers and stuff. So that's not the best approach. So I'm trying to fill those other positions, get the company, you know, on solid foundation, and then be able to work more towards that. So that's why it's kind of been that, you know, and I'm looking for people that are passionate about it, because it is my baby. So I don't want it to be something where I just say, oh, I just did a search and this guy looks like he'll be great. And then maybe he comes in and he's not, you know, there's not the spiritual aspect of it, where it's just more of a business, and then it doesn't meet our needs and we're not doing the things that we set out to do. And then, you know, so.
See, Rob, I totally understand what Gerald said. And the only difference with me, I'm telling you from a financial standpoint. And Mario, I don't know if you just came in, but I said that earlier. When you double your salary is a good point for you to release it. When you double your salary in the business, which is your network marketing, because honestly, your 501c, unless you actually start taking the salary from it, it's not going to support you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's, I don't want it to, right.
Right, exactly. So it seems like you want the freedom. It seems like you want to make your money from the network marketing. Is that the understanding?
Yeah. And again, even in the running of the nonprofit, I'm like, you know, when my mom or somebody else comes and said, we need shirts to do, I was like, no, we don't, you know, I want to spend the money to help the people directly. I don't care if we have T-shirts that identify us as this, or we have this or whatever. I want to be responsible to the people that are donating to us, that this stuff is actually going towards buying food, buying shoes, buying socks, whatever that we need to help the homeless. So I think drawing a salary, you know, if I'm, you know, if my stance is that, then drawing a salary is going to be, you know, hard to justify as well, you know, but I know you can, especially if you're out there helping people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But I'm just saying,
because
right. But I'm just saying, go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say, there are a lot of directors of foundations that make a ton of money, but it's not about that for you. And that's what I'm trying to get you to look at. If that's what lights you up, you sound like, well, you are doing that and it's not paying you 1 red cent, but you will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go do that if you had to. You wake up at 5:30 and go do that if you had to. So you have to find a way that you can incorporate that into your daily life. And that's what Benny's getting at. We're just coming at it from two different sides. He's saying that one, once you make enough money, you can be able to focus on your 501c3 and develop it. And I'm saying that you need to find a way, which is essentially what he's talking about, a way where money is not an issue, so that you can go and do your passion and that end up supporting you. And Fitz brought up a great point. He said, even if you don't take a salary, the nonprofit can cover your expenses such as housing and childcare costs and auto childcare costs, all of that type of stuff. Your nonprofit can take care of that stuff for you if you are the director, the founding director of that, even if you don't take the salary. So
can I ask you the $1 million question? I want you to think hard when you answer this question, Rob. Okay. I'm going to take care of all your worldly needs. I'm going to take care of your salary. I'm going to take care of anything that you have to pay for with your paycheck, right? You're going to have one job, and you can only do that one job for the rest of your life, and you will not receive a paycheck for it. But you wouldn't need a paycheck because I'm already taking care of everything, right? What would that be, Rob?
Yeah, I think you guys already know. It'd be working with the homeless, going down there and helping people. Yep.
So the only thing you're missing in your system right now, because everything is built on a system, the only thing that you're missing in your system right now is the word that starts with an F. It's called freedom. Okay? Mm-hmm. And freedom will allow you to attract the type of money you need. But people, when you, if that is your focus, if that's what you would do, even if you wasn't receiving a paycheck, then that's where you need to be, because that's, as Gerald said, your legacy. I call it your purpose. It's the same. We're saying the same thing. Okay. Sure. But the freedom is what will allow you to go over there. Because honestly, what I'm getting from you, if I was sitting down with you, what I'm getting from you, even though you know you can take a Sally and extract it against, it should be 85-15. But I just get the sense that you don't even want to do that. You just want to give through it, mm-hmm. but you don't want no one getting a salary, which is very commendable. You know, so that way that leaves you a certain amount of percentage for operational costs and then everything else. So if that's the case, then what you really need is the freedom. So the key is, what's wrong in your networking marketing company that's not allowing you to have the freedom? That's the question you have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that would be my thing. And I think that's some great sage advice right there. As Fitz said, 85% of every dollar donated directly goes to the mission. The other 15 cents goes to, you know, being able to pay for the foundation to be able to keep.
Well, that's what I say, 85-15, right? Because when I look at a place that I want to give money, and I give money to a lot of different charities, I give in secret because I don't believe you need to actually put your big check up, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I always look and see what the operational costs. What is it taking? How many people are getting paid? You know, because you know when you're 501c, you got to be able to have your finances open so other people can view them. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you'll look and it's so lopsided. You know what I mean? It's like the amount of money that people are getting paid versus the amount of money that actually goes to the cause. Sometimes it's so lopsided the other way. But you seem like one of those good dudes, Bob. You seem like one of those people that, man, I just want to give, and it's not about making money to me. So your focus is, how can you grow your network marketing business? There's something wrong in your system. And, you know, there's a reason why, because over here you have your core, and that's where you get a paycheck from. You see what I'm saying? Here you have your network, and here you have, I call it your freedom business. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And you need to see how you can get from this point to here so that you can enjoy number 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think it's less about the success of the network marketing company and more about the comfortability of the stay at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Being able to work for the bank and do that full time and have the benefits and have the pay allows me to do all the other things. So it's not really the hindrance of, like, it's not like the business isn't doing well. The network marketing company's doing well. Right. It's just, I have this. So yeah. That's, I think it's more that way.
Can I just throw one thing at you, brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is just from love, man. It's no comfort in comfortable, man.
Right.
For real. Because when we say we're comfortable, that means we're chained to something that we've just been doing for so long that we're just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with changing.
Right.
This is just it. You know what? I'm cool. But you're not really cool with it, because otherwise you wouldn't be thinking about all those other things. That nonprofit would not light you up if you were really comfortable. Because comfortable means that you're settled, and it's nothing settling about feeling comfortable.
Right.
So my thing is, you have to be willing to release what makes you comfortable and go into the uncomfortable so that you can live an extraordinary life. So and until you do that, then you're kind of going to be playing between these 3 masters, and it's really only one master, which you already know, and you're talking about God, and the thing that you love, God is given to you to be able to help other people. And the best quote I've ever heard is that the way that you get what you want is helping people get what they want.
Zig
and
Ziglar,
that's
yeah.
what that a nonprofit does for you. So that's where you need to be, and you need to find a way to get your behind over there and do that. And don't feel bad that you're compensated for it. You can't feel bad that you're making money if you're helping people. Why would you feel bad?
Rob, you know what the most important thing I ever found out when doing my business as being a business and life coach and investor? You know what I found out the most important thing is? God is not broke.
Right.
God is abundance. There is no lack in there. Okay. Man creates the lack in his world by feeling he doesn't have this or have that. You know, the God I serve is abundance. He owns everything. How could they possibly be lack? But it's the mindset of the individuals that create the lack in their own lives. And, you know, I tell people entrepreneurship has to be the mindset of a kid. Why? Because when you're in that mindset, Rob, kids don't have no limitations.
Right.
You know what I mean? I asked my daughter, she says she wants to be an actress. She wants to be the president. She wants to own a couple of buildings. She wants to run my company, all of that in one breath. She has no limitations. You see what I'm saying? They don't know what comfortability is. They just know it's here. It's only when we become adults that we start to rationalize, okay, I can't do this. That's a little too risky. You know, if you put a kid on the table and that kid trusts you and you tell him to jump in your arms, he will jump in your arms as long as he trusts you.
Right.
He would jump in your arms without even thinking about it. Why? Because they are jumping with the expectation that you will catch them. The sad thing is, most people don't give God that much power.
Right.
They believe that they're going to fall on their face.
Absolutely.
That's when people lose.
Well, yeah, hey,
you can't tell me nothing, Rob. I tell people all the time, I don't believe in impossible. I believe in breaking that word apart, and it goes, I'm possible.
Yep.
That's what it is. People can tell me whatever they want. Rob, this ain't for you, but it's for the ladies. I'm the sexiest brother there ever been.
Oh, jeez.
It's just that simple.
Hey, you guys inspired me. While you guys were talking, I went out to the website and I grabbed a link here. So I'll expect checks to support my freedom over here.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, I mean, you're laughing, but that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you are listen, and this is important to me. I just want you to hear this: that there are too many people that are dying with important dreams and passion inside of them that can change the friggin' world. Right. And if you are so busy worried about that paycheck that you're taking from that bank that you don't live your purpose, that hurts everybody. It doesn't just hurt you; it hurts everybody. So, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know because you're a man of faith. So I need you to have faith in you and faith in what was given to you and go do that and stop playing. So yes, I'll donate. Not an issue.
Because Gerald, let me ask you something. What if he got a call tomorrow and they say you fired? What would he do?
Yeah.
What would you do, Rob?
I'd go out and start getting people and getting them set up and
you know what you would do? You would get on your hustle. Yeah. That's what you would do. You would get on your hustle and you say, I no longer have a paycheck. And remember, they control that. As long as you making the money, that's cool. But if for some reason they need to let you go tomorrow, if they told you, Rob, you are fired, what would you do, Rob?
You would. You get on your hustle, back against the wall. You'd start getting out there talking to people, and
you would do things that make you uncomfortable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you have to play it in the mind.
Yep.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
So definitely will support you there, brother, man. This was great. You actually get to talk to you, Rob, and know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, usually I'm just over there playing in the sidelines with you, putting up memes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And, and like I said, part of it for me before, and that's what I need to work on changing is, I just felt a responsibility to people that if they're donating money, I don't want it to go to this, but if it goes to me doing the cause, then, it's justified. It's not like I'm just sitting back, sitting at home watching TV and, working an hour a day or so. But if it's something where I'm down, meeting with the homeless, getting them in housing and getting them set up, doing the Bible studies, doing all the other stuff, then, it's definitely justifiable. So I need to just sit down and work out the numbers and find out exactly how many people that I need to support me monthly to be where I need to be. And then just start going out, and that'd be my goal. I need to talk to X number of people and get Gerald and Benny and Joe and Jim and Susie to donate whatever they can a month to pledge for, what I need for a salary. So.
Cool, man. And that's what I feel you should do, Rob. And I thank you so much for stepping up, brother. Actually getting to talk to you, and you're going to have to teach me how to do those memes, man. Those are really. Rob has the best gifs on Blab, man.
And Rob, before you go, I just want to leave you with this, and you can marinate on this. The best way to influence people to support is to show them what you do.
Yeah. Start with the why.
And when I show you what you do, hire somebody for a day to go around with a camera. And I mean, it's for the building, because you're going to help those people build it up. But show people what you do. People are inspired by what they see, what they feel, and what they experience. Everybody doesn't have the opportunity to come and experience it with you if they don't live in your area. But what you need to do is somehow on that website or wherever, I haven't been there yet, but you need to show people what you do.
And my final piece is, you know me, Rob. I throw my little quotes around and joke around a lot, but when it comes to this business stuff, I'm very serious, because I just see so many people that aren't adding their piece to the world the way they need to be. Right. And what I can tell you is, if you can make whatever it is you're making, and you say you're comfortable with it, right? But if you can make money doing something you despise, just imagine what you will make when you're doing what you love. That's it.
Preach, Pastor.
That's it.
Preach.
And there's a little video we made about a couple of years ago that just shows a little bit about what we do. It has some testimonies of some people. So we I already have the video.
Look what you said a couple of years ago. Yep. I want to see what you did this year.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's just like saying, man, I made this hot show about 3-4 years ago. You need to go watch it. Okay, what did you do in the last 12 months?
Absolutely.
Show me that. Inspire me to hit PayPal. Ooh. Not because you said go there. Inspire me. Show me what you did now. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Rob, you're going to be all right, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I'll come back. I'll give you guys an update too. So I thank you. Sir. I thank you guys. Thanks a lot. All right, we'll see you.
All right. Thank you, brother. All right, and that's what we do here. We are talking about how you set up your business for success. And now let's just talk about six-figure business success. How do you get there? Everybody talks about that number, that word right there, 6 figures. How do you get to 6 figures? Everybody wants to break that ceiling. How do you get there? And let's just talk about that a little bit. I see my brother Charlotte Social is here. Thomas, I would love for Thomas to jump in and just talk to us about what he does. And I don't think everybody in the room knows him, and it would be great for them to get to meet Thomas. So Thomas, could you give us a call here? I see you still here chatting with us. I'd love to get your input on this subject.
By the way, let's go ahead and transition to
there we go. To six-figure business success. Absolutely. Here's my brother Thomas, Mr. Charlotte Social 360. Yes, I call people out, man. You can't be in this room and I not say something to you. You know what's going to happen. You're muted, brother.
Gerald, why it's got to be 6? Why we can't do 7?
Okay, let's go 7. Okay. Small thing to it.
You already did that. It's too easy. Let's do 7.
Thomas, you have to unmute or leave the room, leave the seat and come back, because your mic is not accessed.
What is he
Yeah,
refreshing?
he's refreshing. He's coming right back. But so
I tried to change the title. How come I can't change it? Only you can change it.
I don't know what's going on. They changed some stuff on here, so I did.
Booyah. There we go.
Cool. So well, moving along, we'll talk about how to get your business to making those seven figures, which is what in turn will pay you 6 figures, because you can't make 6 figures as a business owner if your business is making 7 figures in revenue. So a lot of people don't understand that. They think, hey, I made $100,000. I have $100,000 I can take. No. You know, and I've been blessed and fortunate enough in my life to be able to have a few businesses that do 7 figures. So this is something that's very near and dear to my heart, because I always wanted the freedom to do and be able to help the people that I wanted to help. But if you're broke, you can't help broke people. You know, you can't reach back if you drown in yourself.
I always say, Gerald, if you hang out with 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th.
That's true.
It is just that simple.
All right.
No matter how you look at it.
Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Charlotte, are you on the air now? We can't hear Mr. Charlotte. We can see your mouth moving, but we can't hear nothing.
Thomas, do this. Okay, we're gonna do. This is great. See, this is what we do this is what Benny and I do. We're great with this stuff. On the top of your browser, when you look at the browser, in the little bar, you should see a camera over to the right. Click that camera. We'll talk about what mic you're using and which camera you're using. Make sure you change the mic setting to your headset. Then you have to refresh and come back, and then you can talk live on here with us. Just that simple. A lot of people don't know you can do that, but it's a little camera picture in the top of your browser to the right. Click that. It will talk about which mic you're using and also which camera you're using. Cool. Now go out and refresh, and you'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Remember last week, and not to get off the topic too much, but last week, that young guy who was having a hard time giving up equity, you guys remember that last week? I didn't quite get what his hang up with was equity.
Oh, she's talking about Eddie. Yeah, when we were talking about investing. Well, I mean, not getting off the topic, but this is about.
You're not getting off the topic. You all off topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Go ahead. No, don't worry, Gracie. I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Joe.
but I mean, that does align with the 7-figure business success. He was thinking too small. He was thinking that right now he has a little bit of something, and if he gives it up in the future, it's going to hurt him more. But in the end, 100% of 0 is still 0.
Exactly.
60% of 20 million is a whole lot more than 100% of 0. So when you're concerned about pennies, you're going to stay where you are. There's no room for growth. So yeah, I know you pay attention, Tish. That's why I love you to death. Kim, welcome to the room, Kim. Awesome to have Kim here as well. And Biddy, let's talk about 7-figure business models. What's the first step you think they need to take to set up a 7-figure business?
First, you gotta believe that you have a 7-figure business and you got a 7-figure product. Okay. Remember, everything is all incorporated into the service and the benefits of the product. Okay. A lot of people say, I want to make $500,000, or some people say, I want to make, $250,000 or whatever. But you always got to reach much bigger for that 7-figure business. You got to make sure you have a 7-figure business to begin with, first of all. And that 7-figure shouldn't start at the million point. It should start at the 10 and 20 million point, because that's where you're going to need to be able to extract seven figures from your business. You can't make $1 million and think you're gonna make $1 million.
There you go. That's it.
There's got to be a distance between what you are grossing and your operational costs and everything in between versus what that you can pay yourself. And people don't realize there is a separation. But first and foremost, you got to have a great product.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A great product or a great service.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Awesome. So we'll say step one is knowing and creating that 7-figure product or service.
Right. And every product is 7-figure, Gerald. You know
I was about to say that. That's exactly where I was going. Every product. Listen, people. You guys know me, and you guys have been around me for a while on this broadcast. I've been doing this thing about a little over a month and a half now. Every idea you have is not the $1 million idea. I'm just going to tell you that. Every idea you have is not the $1 million idea. So I know what that leads to. Well, which one? How do I know what the $1 million idea is? One, I feel that when you think about it, it scares the heck out of you. Because it's so far out of the realm of where you've been that for it to seem real that you could do it, it scares you. Number two, it lights you up. What we were talking to Rob Rudy about. Rob has found his 7-figure idea. He just has to turn that idea into money that's tangible for him because he's servicing enough people. There you go. Now, Rob, that's what I'm talking about. It is. I'm telling you, it's no reason why your foundation couldn't be an 8-figure foundation. It could be. You know, it's the limitations that we put on it ourselves because of our own shortcomings. I have a coach who even told me, and this is me being transparent. You know, he was like, I don't know why you aren't making 7 figures. Each one of your businesses should be making you 7 figures because of how you are and who you are and the way you do what you do. And I limited my own income in those businesses thinking about how I want them to be, not how it helps everybody else, but how I want them to be. And our business, when we understand, really is not for us.
Mm-hmm.
It is honestly,
that is very, very, very powerful. But here's what I want to say about that. Here's when you know that you have something big. When, you know, if the goals that you're setting and the revenue projections, and people, you have to have revenue projections. You can't just say, I'm just going to make as much money as I can make.